With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the feature race tomorrow, so make sure you join us then. Hello and welcome from the Bahrain International Circuit here in Sakhir. Down on the grid, the engineers are making their last checks, and today's race will be underway shortly. Plenty of opportunities around the 3.36 miles of the Bahrain International Circuit for these young F2 drivers to show what they can do. The best passing opportunity right up there at turn 1, and we should see plenty of action there. But there's another not long after at turn 4. There are 9 right-handers and 6 left-handers, and the possibility that we could see some flat spots at the tightest of those left-handers, that's turn 10. As the engineers make their last inspection of the cars, let's take a look at today's grid order for the race. Doohan lines up on pole position, and it's Jan de Ruvela in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hauger, Pourchaire, Frederick Vesti, Awassa, Martins, Behrman, Leclerc, Richard Verschoor, Miney, Correa, Isaac Hadjar, Enzo Fittipaldi, Stanek, Maloney, Novalak, Brad Benavides, Cordial, Nissani, Boschong, and Jack Crawford completes the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's get down to the track. The new season starts now. I'm Alex Jakes, Alex Brundle is alongside me, and it is time to restart Formula 2. We're so excited to be back. Alex, what are you expecting from this season?
Put 22 of the world's best young racing drivers in a pot, some great venues, press go, and it kicks out a champion. I cannot wait to see who comes out on top at the end of the year.
Well, mate, pole position is a great way to start the season, but as you know, there's no points for pole. Now we've got to go and take the win. Okay, Jack, we've got some clear track around us now, so let's use it and make this next lap a quick one. Let's go. Great stuff, mate. You hit the target well there. Nice one. There's a long way to go in this race, though, so keep your head down. Okay, this is your final lap of the race. fantastic drive. That's just fantastic. Amazing. You deserved that race win. Well done, mate.
It's a superb drive. It's victory for Jack Doohan.
Well, they've sent that one, haven't they? Brilliant start to the season, and that's exactly what they wanted for their early points tally.
Another race and another victory for Virtuosi as we see the drivers make their way out to the podium for the final ceremony. Superb racing out there today and a well-deserved win. There will be plenty more twists and turns to come this season. I hope you'll join us at the next race when Formula 2 returns. It's time to leave for now, but we'll be back tomorrow when the feature race gets itself underway. Welcome to all those joining us as we kick off another round of thrilling Formula 2 racing at Imola. Imola's unusual in that it runs anti-clockwise, taking in 19 turns along its 3.1 miles of tarmac. 9 of those are right-handers, with the remaining 10 as left-handers. Now, the F2 drivers here today need to keep in mind the elevation. Pay attention to turn 7. A slow exit from here will lose a driver a lot of time as they struggle to accelerate uphill. Here are the starting positions for today's race. A fantastic effort from Jack Doohan yesterday puts him on pole position, with Teo Porcher starting alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Martins, Awasa, Jan Deruvala, Vesti, Hauger, Behrman, Miney, Juan Manuel Correa, Maloney, Hadjar, Clement Novalak, Richard Verschoor, Leclerc, Fittipaldi, Crawford, Amory Cordial, Stanek, Benavides, Nissani, and Ralph Boschon completes the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. It is the Formula 2 race. It is time to introduce you to Alex Brundle. I'm Alex Jakes, and we've got changeable weather out there today. That's making for some nervous team personnel down in the paddock, down in the pit lane.
There are going to be some quivering hands on the tyre guns, aren't there, when they tighten up what could easily be the wrong specification of tyre completely for the conditions. It's a gamble out there.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down. I'm afraid you've been given a time penalty for that last incident, mate. Great work. That's a new fastest lap of the race. Okay, Jack, we've got some clear track in front of us, and let's make the best of it. So please make this next one a very fast lap. Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them. Yeah, really good job on hitting that target, mate. Nice work. Still a long way to go, though. Okay, final lap. Let's go. Final lap. Ah, fantastic drive. That's just fantastic. Amazing. You deserved that race win. Well done, mate.
The Australian driver has left them all behind. Jack Doohan takes the win.
Have you seen one quite as dominant as that, Jakesy? I'm not sure I have. They led every single lap of that one, lights to flag.
And here are our podium drivers today. After that excellent race, they've excelled here as they so often do, and it's a well-deserved victory. Virtuosi then are on top today. Well, what a weekend that has been. Please join us next time for another thrilling instalment when Formula 2 returns. The grid is set then, so that just leaves the race itself. Join us tomorrow where we'll be live with all the action, and until then, goodbye. Welcome then to the United Arab Emirates. Our F2 drivers are on the grid and we're moments away from lights out for the start of the Formula 2 Abu Dhabi race. Yas Marina Circuit is a 3.2-mile racetrack built on the man-made Yas Island. In addition to the 16 corners, it features 2 very long straights. Now these will be the drivers' main overtaking chances today into Turn 5 and Turn 7. We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Jack Doohan lines up on pole position, with Jehan Daruvala alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid we have Hauger, Pourchaire, Victor Martins, Novalak, Behrman, Fittipaldi, Awasa, Kushmaini, Hadjar, Leclerc, Frederick Vesti, Richard Verschoor, Correa, Benavides, Cordial, Roman Stanek, Crawford, Boschong, Nissani, and Zane Maloney completes the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. It all comes down to this. I'm Alex Jakes, Alex Brundle is alongside me, and for the final time this season, we're about to go racing. Alex, you're looking to sign off in some style.
So are the drivers and teams. It's a really important race for everyone here, despite the fact it's the end of the year. They know that everything they do in this event is going to echo for months through the end of the season.
Okay, mate, I know it's tough in there, it's hot in that cockpit, but your tyres are even hotter, so you're going to have to work extra hard to keep them cool. It matters for performance. Mind that front wing, it's going to need replacing if it takes too much damage. You need to give that place back, I'm afraid. That was an illegal overtake. We've been handed a 3-second penalty for obvious corner cutting. Wow, that was a heck of an impact. Let me know you're okay.
The French driver AR. Well, what a year it has been. What a story we have seen. I've been Alex Jakes on the microphone. Thanks to the whole team here. We'll see you next year when Formula 2 returns.